Hey guys, Army, Jungkook Nation, everyone in this community. I need you to really lock in with me for a moment because what we're about to talk about today isn't just another fan theory. It's not just another viral clip. This is something that has been quietly building, piece by piece, moment by moment, until it finally reached a point where fans couldn't ignore it anymore. And trust me, once you start connecting everything, it hits differently. Like, really differently. We're talking about that house in Los Angeles. Yeah, that one. The place where Jimin and Jungkook stayed, the place that, at first glance, just seemed like a normal living arrangement during their time in the US. But guys, if you've been in this fandom long enough, you already know nothing is ever just normal when it comes to moments like these. Because here's the thing, fans didn't just watch what happened there, they felt it. And that's where everything starts to shift. Because when something feels different, when something carries a kind of emotional weight you can't really explain, you start asking questions. You start noticing things you might have missed before. And suddenly, the smallest details begin to matter. And let's be honest for a second, we've all seen countless interactions between members over the years. We've seen friendships, jokes, chaos, brotherhood, everything. But what fans started noticing in LA? It didn't feel loud. It didn't feel performative. It felt quiet, soft, almost like something personal that just happened to be caught on camera. And that's exactly what made it so powerful. Because think about this, when you're in a completely different country, far away from your usual environment, your usual routines, your usual support systems, you naturally gravitate toward the person who makes you feel most like yourself. The person who brings you comfort without effort. The person you don't have to think twice about being around. And during that time in LA, it felt like Jungkook kept gravitating toward one person in particular. Not in an obvious way, but in a consistent way. In a way that felt instinctive. And that person was Jimin. Now here's where things get even more interesting, because fans didn't just notice that they were often together. That's not unusual. What stood out was how they were together. The energy between them felt different. Calmer. Softer. More grounded. There were moments where they didn't even need to speak. And yet, something was clearly being communicated. A glance. A small smile. A subtle shift in body language. These weren't grand gestures, but they carried meaning. And fans picked up on that instantly. And you know what's crazy? The more people went back and rewatched those moments, the more they realized this wasn't something new. It was just more visible now. Like the LA setting somehow stripped everything down and allowed that connection to be seen more clearly. It's like when everything else gets quieter, the things that matter most become louder. And guys, let's talk about those quiet moments for a second, because those are the ones that really got people emotional. Not the big interactions, but the in-between ones. The ones where they thought no one was really paying attention. The way Jimin would naturally look out for Jungkook without making it obvious. The way Jungkook seemed completely at ease when he was around him. No pressure. No walls. Just comfort. And if you've ever had someone in your life like that, you know how rare that is. Because real comfort isn't loud. It doesn't need to prove anything. It just exists. And you feel it. And that's exactly what fans felt watching them in that house. But wait, because this is where things started to really blow up in the fandom. Because once people started talking about it, others started adding their own observations. Clips resurfaced. Old moments were reanalyzed. And suddenly, what once seemed like random interactions started forming a pattern. A pattern that felt too consistent to ignore. And this is where the emotional side of the fandom really came in, because people weren't just analyzing anymore. They were connecting, relating, feeling. Some fans said it reminded them of their own relationships, the quiet kind, the unspoken kind, the kind that doesn't need labels to feel real. Others said it was the way they looked at each other, like there was always something more behind their eyes. And then there were those who simply said, I don't know how to explain it, but I feel it. And honestly, that might be the most powerful reaction of all. Because not everything meaningful can be explained with logic. Sometimes you just know. And that's what made this whole situation so special and, at the same time, so overwhelming for fans. Because it wasn't about proving anything. It wasn't about being right or wrong. It was about experiencing something that felt genuine. And in today's world, where everything is so curated, so controlled, so carefully presented, seeing something that feels real, that hits hard. Now let's talk about the emotional dynamic for a second, because this is something that a lot of fans pointed out. Jimin has always been known for his emotional intelligence. He notices things. He feels things deeply. He connects with people on a level that goes beyond surface interactions. And when he cares about someone, you can see it. Not in big, flashy ways, but in the small, consistent ones. And then there's Jungkook, someone who has grown so much over the years, but still holds onto that genuine, unfiltered side of himself. Someone who doesn't easily open up to just anyone, but when he does, it's real. It's honest. It's deep. Now imagine those two energies coming together in a space like that LA house, away from the spotlight, away from expectations, just being themselves. Of course fans were going to notice something. Of course it was going to feel different. And here's the thing that really stuck with a lot of people: it didn't feel forced. It didn't feel like something they were trying to show. If anything, it felt like something they weren't even thinking about, which is exactly why it felt so authentic. Because the most real moments are the ones you don't plan. The ones that just happen. The ones that slip through. And that's exactly what made those moments in LA so unforgettable. They didn't scream for attention, but they captured it anyway. They didn't try to prove anything, but they made people feel everything. And honestly, that's rare. That's really rare. So when fans say that the LA house hid romantic moments, maybe it's not about something literal. Maybe it's about the feeling those moments carried. The softness. The closeness. The quiet understanding between two people who clearly mean a lot to each other. And maybe, just maybe, that's more powerful than anything else. Because at the end of the day, what people connect with isn't labels. It's emotion. It's authenticity. It's the feeling that something is real. And whether you see it as friendship, something deeper, or something in between, you can't deny that what fans saw in those moments mattered. It meant something. And it left an impact. So now I want to ask you, and I want you to really think about this, when you watched those moments, when you saw Jimin and Jungkook in that LA house, what did you feel? Did it feel different to you? Did it feel deeper? Or do you see it in a completely different way? There's no right or wrong answer here, just your perspective. And that's what makes this community so powerful. So go ahead, drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk about it. Let's feel it together. And if this video made you think, made you feel, or made you see things in a new way, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Because we're just getting started, and there are so many more stories, moments, and emotions waiting to be uncovered. Stay with me, guys, because this journey, it's far from over.